You're working full time, but your paycheck doesn't feel like any progress is happening. Someone always raises your rent, your food, your insurance, your fees right after you get paid. Every time, soon as you get in a good spot, something happens. They tell you inflation is cooling, but your life didn't get cheaper. And in this video, I'm going to show you why your cost of living actually got worse, even when the headlines say everything's normal. And stick with me, because I'm going to show you the exact math that proves it. So you budget, you cut back, you think, I'll make it if I just tighten up. But somehow, your essentials keep rising. Rent, food, car payments, bills you never even knew existed even come up. And that's the moment you thought, is this inflation or something worse? Here's the part I'm going to prove to you in the next few minutes. Why inflation cooling doesn't make your life cheaper. How layoffs can spike even when unemployment looks normal. Why wages aren't keeping up no matter what they say. And the exact breakdown of where your money disappears each month. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to show you a simple 3-step reality check that instantly exposes whether you're in a cost of living trap and how to fight it if you are. So remember back in 2019, crypto was weird, gas was cheap, a pizza didn't feel like a luxury. Let's put some numbers on it. Back then, the CPI overall index was roughly 255.7. Now, it's around 322, just a little over. We've got a 26% increase in officially released prices even since 2019. Now that's real. We don't live in 2019 anymore though. Not even close. When the news say inflation is only 2.7%, it sounds small. But here's the truth. Inflation's not a reversal. Things aren't going back to where they were. It's still a rise. It's still increasing, just a little smaller and slower. Let's break it down. Inflation slowed. Prices didn't go down. They just didn't speed up as fast. So the headline is good, but your bank account still feels pretty bad. Here's where the headlines hide the real pain. Shelter prices are the biggest driver. They never, ever go down. Food prices are currently and still rising faster than wages. Healthcare costs keep climbing, and there's fees everywhere because you don't own anything, so you've got apps, subscriptions, and services. Now, data from December 2025 shows that shelter, as in your housing, is up 0.4% in just 1 month. Food went up 0.7% in 1 month. And food away from home, like takeout, is up 4.1% year over year. Now, that's not a theory. That's your actual grocery bill hitting you right now. Here's what this feels like in real life. You don't buy steak. You don't drink craft lattes. You just buy some cereal, and it costs more than last month. You don't feel rich. You feel like survival is now considered normal expenses. That's not luck. That's a structural-based pressure. People ask, if inflation is slowing and unemployment is normal, why do layoffs feel like they're happening everywhere? So here's the truth. In 2025, the official numbers show that companies announced 1.2 million job cuts, and that's up 58% year over year. And note this, that's the highest Q4 cut since 2008. What happened in 2008? Do you remember? And yet unemployment sits near 4.4%. Something about that feels wrong until you really understand how the data works. Unemployment numbers don't show the full story because someone gets laid off, they take a worse job quickly, and now they're dropped out of the unemployed count. So layoffs can actually surge while unemployment numbers seem stable. That's why you feel layoffs in your life, but headlines don't scream recession. People love quoting average hourly earnings rising. But here's the reality of what the data actually says. Average hourly earnings rose 3.8% in December 2025. But after inflation, the real earnings barely budged. That means pay went up, but buying power really didn't go up. It's like running on a treadmill that just keeps increasing its speed. You keep moving, but you're not getting anywhere. Talk to someone in Detroit, Atlanta, Nashville. They'll all tell you the same thing. A raise doesn't solve rent increases because your life cost resets at every renewal. Your landlord doesn't care about average wages. They care about the price that other landlords are charging. And that pushes everything up. Remember, I said I'd show you the exact way to see your cost squeeze. Here's the diagnostic. Take your last paycheck. Now list off these 5 essentials: housing, food, car insurance and gas, utilities, and your debt's minimum payments. If those 5 are over 70% of your take-home pay, you're not bad with money. You're caught up in the cost of living trap. Most people don't realize this math because it feels like they missed something, but look, you didn't miss anything. The system changed. Most advice these days is garbage. Just budget better, just get a raise, just spend less on coffee. But when your largest bills move faster than your income, that advice doesn't help. This is why people feel stuck. Because the rules of money changed, but the advice stayed the same. So what actually works? Here are the 3 moves that'll really make a difference. Stabilize your largest bill. If you don't own, think roommates or negotiate renewals early. If you do own, refinance if it makes sense. Number 2, build runway. Not savings for stuff or vacations. Savings for freedom from stress. 3 months, 4 months, it matters much more than a rent negotiation. Number 3, don't measure success by lifestyle inflation. Measure it by runway. If your runway is growing, you're winning. If your runway is shrinking, nothing else matters but building that thing up. And here's why 2019 feels like another universe. Those times weren't cheaper just because prices were lower. It was just more predictable. You could plan. You knew what rent would be next year. You knew what food would cost. Today, you're guessing. We don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. That's not living. You're in survival mode. Listen, I want something from you. In the comments, tell me, what percentage of your take-home pay goes to the 5 essentials I listed? Which item jumped the most of those 5? Which one of those jumped the most since 2019? I'm going to pin the most shocking story. And in the next video, I'll break down what the Fed really wants with all this inflation talk and why this matters much more than your rent. See you next time. You got KO'd.